Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. On the date it's being recorded, it is Tuesday, May 26th of 2020. So I'm just sitting right here, chilling on the back porch. I'm waiting for my sandals to dry because, well, they're dirty, and one of them was covered in mud because I stepped in mud, so I had to wash them. So I decided, instead of washing just the one that was covered in mud, I just had to wash both of them. And they're drying pretty quick. Because I tried to do a video earlier and I got distracted by a whole bunch of other stuff. It was about a 19.5-minute video of just me walking around the neighborhood. But, yeah. My arms really hurt. Well, it's because I was doing some game recording last night, and it required me to, use my arms a lot more than what I'm used to. Because I had to re-record boxing from the regular Wii Sports, and I had to do a whole video of just Wii Sports and me doing boxing. My arms are kind of shaky, unstable, and they're like noodles. But they'll be back to normal within a week. So just give it a few days, and they'll be fine. They're just really tired and sore. That's all. Nothing too major. Next Tuesday is my 21st birthday. Which, woo! I'll be a final legal adult, which means I can legally go into a bar and order a drink. I mean, of course, I would have to have my ID on me, like you normally would, but yeah. Oh boy. Let's see here. What else do I have planned for today? I'm supposed to be hanging out with some people today. One of them is for an art-related thing, because this friend of mine said that she wanted to paint watercolor, some form of like a watercolor picture or a portrait or whatever of the Harding Memorial. And I'm like, but the thing is, she can go over there, is that her parents want her to, they want her to go over there with, with someone else, in case something happens. So she asked me yesterday, originally, and we were going to do it, not too terribly late, but, But we decided, since it was going to rain, which I don't think it ever did, so we decided to postpone it to today, and we said anytime after 3. So, yeah, and then about an hour or so ago, I got a message from her saying that she just woke up, and she said that we could shoot for around 6. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Cause I'm planning on doing like a little mini series, like the history of different things around the city. And I figured that a good place to start would be the Harding Memorial. Which means after that it'll be the Harding Home. And then eventually when the museum opens up in November, the new Harding Museum thing that they're supposed to have done by the 3rd of November, because the 3rd of November of this year marks 100 years since, he was elected by the people. Yeah. He was also the most recent president we ever had that was from here in Ohio. So, yeah, we haven't had a president from Ohio in, 100 years. A century. Yeah. Hopefully one day someone will, be able to do that. Plus, you might remember back in 2016, one of the candidates for president was then Ohio Governor John Kasich. He didn't really do too well in the primaries, but, well, hey, at least when it comes to a primary, other than like some Republican candidates, like Senator of Florida Marco Rubio, at least Governor Kasich won his home state. Yeah, Senator Rubio lost Florida in a landslide to Trump in the primary. Yeah, he lost Florida. I'm like, yep, okay, I'm done. If I can't get my home state, then there's no sense of trying anymore. Kasich actually did win pretty far. He didn't really... Actually, I think the only state primary he ever won was here in Ohio. He beat all the others. Yeah, he even beat Trump. So, yeah. I actually don't know what percent of the votes of the people here that voted for Trump in November of 2016 compared to Clinton. But I'm pretty sure that we voted... I think we overwhelmingly voted for Trump. And that's also another thing. I know I'm going to bring up presidential elections in the future. Well, it might not be the future by the time you see this, but in the future of me recording this, in that terms of sense. In almost every single election, at least for those of when Ohio was a state, we have always I would probably say, I would say that 3 out of every 4 presidential elections, we always vote for the winner. Although I think there were a few cases where we actually didn't vote for the overall winner. Or, something like that. So, we'll just have to figure that out. But yeah, I want to start doing the history of Marion a little bit. Start diving deeper into it. And I figured that probably the best way to start out would be probably the most famous person to ever lived here. And yes, it was President Harding. I mean, his home's here, his memorial is here. The first place where he was laid before the completion of the memorial is here. They got the museum that's going to be finished by November, which will mark 100 years since he was elected. Yeah, Ohio has been a state for well over 200 years. We became a state in 1803. I'm trying to think here. 17 years ago, 17 years ago, we celebrated the bicentennial, which which was, that was the year that Ohio became 200 years old. Now you might recall, well, wait a minute, what about 1976? Wasn't that the bicentennial? Well, yes, but that was just for America as a whole. Because, that was when we declared independence from Great Britain. We fought for our independence. We got our independence. And, well, let's just say that us becoming an independent country from the British really definitely changed the world forever. Because they say that because they say, I don't know if it was from like the British surrender at Yorktown, or when the peace treaty was signed. They called it the day the world turned upside down, which I'm guessing is like a British term. Yeah. Which is funny is that when we became independent, when we won our war for independence, we actually effectively ended the first British Empire. And, the British then funded hundreds of exposition trips and, ships to try to find lost land. Because, they had a few islands in the Caribbean, a small amount of land in South America, and, of course, they had Canada up north. And so they decided, hey, we're just going to completely go on the other side of the world. And that's how they controlled, India, South Africa, and Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, that seemed to work out fine. Yeah, it don't look like it's gonna rain. It's just, it's just hot, but, So yeah. In 1976, that was when America turned 200 years old. I have no clue how old America is. However, I do know, actually, yeah, we're just almost 2.5 centuries old. Because now that I just thought of that, in 2026, which will be 6 years from now, America would be 2.5 centuries old. So that means that America right now, or at least turning this year in 2020, America would be 244 years old, if I'm doing math correct. Yeah, America will be 244 years old. Ohio is 217 years old. Yeah, we were the 17th state to join the Union. And we were also the first state to become a state in the 18th century. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Next year I'm doing a complete series of like dissecting every little thing I can about the states. Like, how many states borders them, how many counties or subdivisions each state has, how many people, how many congressional districts, notable people that lived in that state, that either lived in that state or was born in that state. But yeah. That's all for now. This is part 1. I may do a part 2 here in a little bit. But, yeah. Thanks for watching part 1. We'll see you in part 2.